My name is Micha Tomkiewicz, and I'm professor of physics in Brooklyn College.
My name is Louise Hainline. I'm a professor of psychology at Brooklyn College. And I'm married to Micha.
This is my grandfather. My grandfather was basically an iron merchant. The picture on top is me. If you cannot recognize me, sorry for that. This is the house that we used to live after the ghetto uprising in the middle of 1943. The Germans basically burned first only the ghetto, and later on, 1944, when there was a Polish uprising, they basically burned the whole city. My mother actually visited after the war. This is my grandfather and grandmother on my mother's side.
Do you know when they were taken?
It means in the 30s, yeah. They got killed in the war. The beginning took place on May 25th, 1939, okay? This was about 3 months before the Second War. My family was a sort of well-to-do family. Both my mother and father were lawyers. And my father at that time was mobilized to the Polish army. The Polish army got defeated very quickly by the Germans. Because of his army experience, he was mobilized to the Jewish police in the ghetto. In 40-41, action started where the Germans started to collect the people from the ghetto and move them to Treblinka and other concentration camps for annihilation, partly because of my father's job in the police, partly because of cleverness of the other family. We were basically spared. Toward the end, it was obvious that everybody is going to be killed in the ghetto. So two things happened. My mother sent me to a Christian friend, and the Christian friend took me, and I sort of pretended to be her son. For about 6 months, I was hiding there. So my father actually took part in the ghetto uprising in 1943. When the uprising was squashed, the Germans basically collected everybody that participated, put them on the trains, and moved them to the death camp. He, my uncle, and another uncle of mine and his wife basically jumped from the train on the way to Treblinka. He was shot on the spot and killed. My other uncle and his wife were spotted by Poles that referred them to the Nazis, and they shot them. The youngest uncle was able to escape and actually return to the ghetto and tell my mother exactly what happened. Toward the end of the war, the policy of the Germans was to try to remove concentration camp prisoners as the Allied armies started to approach the camp. So what the Germans did, they put prisoners in 3 trains, that all the 3 trains were on the way to another concentration camp.
The bridges were destroyed, the there was no real way that you could go a straight path. One train got through to Theresienstadt.
Okay.
The other two were kind of wandering around northern
Yeah.
Germany.
So the
because of
one
the
train ended up in Theresienstadt, and we don't know really what happens to the people that were on this train. The other train was captured by the Russians, and the people liberated. And we were liberated not far from the city of Magdeburg by the American army. I am this guy here. After the liberation that took place by the American army on April 13, 1945, we spent about 3-4 months in a DP camp in Germany, then we moved to Belgium, then we moved to France, and then we moved to Palestine. We came to Palestine on the Mataroa on the ship. This was beginning of September 1945.
That was after the war was over.
Yeah. About 2 months after that, the British instituted very tight blockade of Palestine. They didn't allow Jews anymore to go there. So we really caught a window. When we came to Palestine, my mother, almost immediately after she arrived, she sat down and basically wrote 2 books. This described the 2 years that we spent in Bergen-Belsen, in the concentration camp. And this book is about the Warsaw Ghetto, from the beginning of the war until 1943. I wouldn't be sitting here without her resolve, her strength. This is what I was. I was a kid, small kid. And people tend to ask, they say, okay, what do you remember? The whole event took place between age 0, basically 1, till age 6, and this is already after the event. Myself and the American soldiers that actually liberated us, we are the last generation that actually live this period of time. Right now, it's life experience. Very shortly, it will be history.